Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. So, experiment time. I've done swipes over canvases with a fluid base before, but today I've got a canvas that I'm going to repurpose. It's a canvas that I'm going to reuse, so I've gessoed the surface and I'm going to paint it black because I'm going to use some of my Pearlescent paints. But today I'm going to use this. So it's just like a sponge tip, and I'm going to dry swipe. So I'm going to paint the surface black. I'm going to layer some colours on top, and then I'm just going to use this and just swipe across the canvas with no fluid paint on the surface, just to see what kind of design and effect that it creates. So I'm excited to experiment as always. Thank you so much for being here. Let's see what we can create. So I've gessoed my canvas. That's to ensure that it's primed so I can add some more acrylic paint on top. I've got a sponge and I'm just going to use some of my fluid black paint to sponge over an effect on the base. So this is about a dry swipe, so I'm not going to have any fluid paint on my canvas. I'm literally going to coat my canvas using my sponge and the black paint just to give that dark finish. With Pearlescent paints, they're most effective if they've got a dark background. I always use Lamp Black by Amsterdam, but any dark colour really will work. It's about how the light moves through the paint, bounces off the background and goes back through the paint. It's the effect of sunlight or light that has a really good effect with the paint that you're using. So I'm just going to cover my base now. I do have a Pearlescent Paints guide in my Patreon store, and I'll list all the details below so you can find it. And in my description box, there's lots of information about the paint brands that I use, the formulas that I use, the canvas sizes, and so much more. So check out the description box below for more information. So let me show you a close-up of the base before we continue. You can see that the sponge has created a different effect to what you'd normally get with your paintbrush, or if you was to pour some fluid paint onto the canvas and blow it out. I'm using this sponge-tipped brush, if you can call it that. I need to find out the real name for those. But I'm literally going to layer the paint in the middle of the canvas, and I'm going to dry swipe. So I'm going to take one colour at a time, add a little bit of paint in the centre of the canvas until I've got all my colours down, and then I'm going to dry swipe. And I can't wait for you to see the end result, because guys, it transforms so brightly and so vibrantly that I think I say this every time I do a pearlescent pour or a pearlescent dry swipe. It might be one of my favourites. So I'll let you see what you think too. Let me know in the comments below what you think of this piece, how it transforms, and if you're enjoying this video, I'd really appreciate you liking the video. Give it a thumbs up. It really helps me reach a wider audience on YouTube. It helps me reach those people that might also be interested in the art that I create. So you'll help me big time if you can do that. So that's my colour down. Well, my pearlescent paint down. It hasn't transformed the colour just yet. I'm adding some black paint on the outer edges and down the middle because we know with pearlescent paints, the way that it reacts with black is the way that it really transforms into the colour that it should be. So the colours that I'm using are a whole range. I'm going to list them in the description box below, but it includes a violet, a red, a blue, a yellow, a white, and a green. I don't know if I've missed one, but I will list all of them below. You can see here how I've just added a little bit of black along those edges. Okay, so the fun part, and I looked it up. It's a foam brush sponge. That's what they're called. Well, that's what they're called here in the UK. So I'm going to use my foam brush sponge. That's a tongue twister, isn't it? Ugh. Try and say that when you're a bit merry. So, okay, I'm using my foam brush sponge, and I'm literally starting from the middle, and I'm dry swiping to the outer edge. The only liquid that I'm using is the paint that I've already layered in the middle of the canvas. There's no base coat as such. There's no fluid paint on the base. I sponged some black paint on the base, as you saw right at the beginning. But all I'm doing is I'm using my foam brush sponge to drag the colour and the paint from the middle to the outer edge. And I'm going to repeat that for the top section of this canvas too. And I'm not sure if the camera is truly picking up the colours as they are transforming as I swipe. But I am going to take you in for a closer look of the wet version. And of course, I'll let this dry and show you the finished design. But I can't wait for you to see how these colours are reacting. And I really do love how I've layered it all along the middle, because it's almost like a Northern Lights effect reflecting in some water. Let me know what you think. I'm just going to go over this again. I'm going to do a few more swipes with my sponge brush foam. No, my foam brush sponge. I'm never going to get this name right. So I'm going to go over this again, and then I'm going to take you in for a closer look. I'm just using my torch to pop some air bubbles. And here we go. Here's the wet version. So from my viewpoint, you can really see how these colours are transforming and popping through. I really love it. The white, the green, the violet, the blue, the red, the yellow. Really, really love this effect. And it just shows by using just a small amount of liquid on your canvas by dry swiping, you can create a really nice design. I'm going to let this dry, and let me now show you the dry version. And here we go. It's fully dry. It's not yet varnished. I will apply a gloss varnish to this, a spray varnish. But what I'll do is I'll take you in now to show you some of those details, show you how some of those paint colours and tones have dried. And I just want to thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed this. Remember, give it a like, a thumbs up if you've enjoyed this video. It really does help me reach more people. And I'd love for you to let me know what you think of this piece in the comments below. Thank you again for joining me. I really hope I get to see you again in the next video. Have a great week and I'll see you soon. Take care everyone. Bye.